Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, welcome to my channel. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button right down below so you guys can become part of this family, and turn on your post notifications so you'll be alerted anytime a new video is posted. If you guys are already part of this family, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So in this video today, I just wanted to do a short video, like a little life update video for you guys. I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of what's been going on with me. I know that I've been getting some concern in my DMs and social media and stuff like that, just kind of you guys wondering okay, what's wrong? I see you're not feeling well, blah blah blah. So I'm going to give you guys a little insight about what's been going on with me. So about a couple months ago, I started to feel really bad. So this was probably September, October. If you guys know me at all, you know that I'm the type of person to just keep chucking along. Oh, you don't feel good? Oh well, suck it up, keep going. I was just raised to be that way. It's kind of like what I seen from my mom growing up. She was just a push through type of person, very strong woman. So I think that's where I get most of my strength from, is from her. So yeah, I would just be cool, so keep pushing, keep going type of mentality. So I was feeling bad, and I don't know, I just was you don't feel good today, cool, but you got stuff you gotta do. You have responsibilities that you have to take care of, so let's go, let's get it moving. So yeah, I just was pushing through, trucking along, and then I noticed I started to feel worse and worse. So it started with very sore throat, swollen lymph nodes. So I'm thinking maybe I'm getting a cold, and then my throat would randomly bleed at times, and it would be very painful for me to eat or swallow any liquids or anything. So I was this is something else, something else is going on. So went and saw a doctor, and doctor's just oh, it seems like you might just need to get your tonsils out, right? So I'm oh, that's straightforward, cool. So I'm gonna plan for that at the beginning of the new year. Fast forward maybe a week or two after that, started feeling worse and worse, fatigue, extremely fatigued. When I tell y'all when I tell you guys that I was so tired, it was ridiculous. I could just fall asleep driving, or at a stoplight. I was so fatigued, and I didn't really understand why or what was happening. So it was a weekend. Well, I was at work. Actually, I was at work one day, and then I started to feel worse and worse. I started to feel I was kind of coming down with a cold, but I wasn't sure. My nose was really sore on the inside, and I was just I feel weird, this is not how I'm used to feeling. I don't know why. So I just felt very odd and off. So the next day I got up, and my whole inside of my nose cavity, all the way down my throat, was inflamed, broke out. It was so weird. I was oh my God, what is this? But once again, me being me, miss push through. I was Key, let's push through, girl. We gotta go to work, girl. We got stuff we gotta do, girl. So I went to work. The whole day at work, I just felt worse and worse over time. And even my boss, he was just are you sure you don't need to leave? We got it. We'll get it covered. We'll take care of it. And I'm just no, I'll be okay. So I got off work that night, and then I just felt worse and worse. So I took some Mucinex or something like that, thinking maybe it was a cold. Well, the next day I woke up, and it was worse. The inflammation was so bad, y'all. So it was so terrible. So I was this is weird. So let me go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor, and I'm explaining to him my symptoms, and he was just oh, you have GERD. So for you guys who don't know what GERD is, essentially it's acid reflux. So he was basically telling me that I was having some sort of inflammation flare up from acid reflux. So, me, I'm not a doctor. This is what they get paid the big bucks for. So I was cool. So I'm going to trust this doctor who's telling me this. He gave me some medication. He sent me on my way. The same day I took the medication, and after I took it, I was literally sitting up on the couch, and I was watching TV with Steph or something, and literally as I was sitting there, all of this foam and stuff was coming up from my stomach, literally through my throat.
That's so nasty.
And the best way I can explain it to you guys would be, it reminded me of like peroxide, like that taste, that smell of peroxide. It was disgusting.
No, you need to back up. That's nasty.
But it was absolutely disgusting. Like, I would not wish that on anybody. So that was happening, and it was like really weird. And I was like, maybe my body has to like adjust to the medication. So I wasn't thinking anything of it. But because that was happening, I couldn't eat at all. So the next day, I was like, I took the medicine again in the morning. I forget how many times a day it had me taking it. I don't remember now. But I took it in the morning, and I ate some breakfast and literally threw up like right after. And I was like, this is weird. Like, I don't think I'm supposed to feel like this. So then I was once again sitting up on the couch, and everything was like coming up. It was really weird. I was like, I've never had symptoms like this. Like, it was weird. It was different from just like throwing up, right? Like I had thrown up before, during this process of like not feeling well, but nothing like that. So I was like, this is odd. So I went back to the hospital, and they were just like, you don't seem like you have GERD. It actually seems like the medication made you worse. Yeah, worse. So it was like this whole thing about like, how are you feeling? Da 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 da. And they were just kind of like, we have to do a trial and error because your insurance won't pay for you to get like all of this like stuff done at once. Like, they want it to be like a sequence of things. So like, to me, I don't understand that, because I pay my insurance every single twice a month or whatever, every month or whatever, however it comes out. And it's good insurance because I work for a good company, so they have great benefits. So I'm just like, I pay for this insurance, but they won't pay for me to get the things I need. Like, I was very confused by that. I ended up going to my primary doctor, and the primary doctor was like, yeah, like you were here like back in March and you had x-rays done and they were abnormal. And I'm just like, wait, what? They were abnormal? Like, why didn't you guys like call me or anything since March? By the way, at this point it's December. So I'm just like, this is weird, right? So she was just like, I want to be able to do all this stuff, but we have to take steps. So she put me on this medication. She put me on a steroid, and she put me on a antibiotic. So I was taking that stuff, and I started to feel better. Like, the inflammation in my nose, my throat on the left side, everything was like on the left side. So it was very weird. I don't know why it was left side, but it was. But I started to feel a little bit better on to that aspect. But then I started having all these side effects. And when I started having the side effects, I was like, this was never happening. I've never experienced this in my whole life. Like, some of the stuff that was happening, I was just like, what is happening? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't understand. So I had to take the pills. They wanted me to take it 7 to 10 days. I took it for literally a week, to be exact, and then I stopped. The one medication ran out after 7 days. The other one was supposed to go till 10, but I stopped taking it. I went back to my urgent care doctor for a follow-up appointment, told her, and she was more concerned at the time because I had did some blood work twice, and it both came back bad. So when the blood work came back bad, she was like, well, let's get you scheduled for an MRI because we want to test you for MS. So I was just like, okay, like trying to wrap my mind around like, what is MS? What if I have it? Like, how do you live with it? How do you cure it? What is, like, you know what I mean? I don't know anything about MS. I don't know anybody that actually has it personally. A guy I worked with, he said his mother had it, so it kind of gave me some sense of like how to handle it, or a little bit, but I really didn't know a lot about it. So yeah, so she's like, let's get you scheduled to get an MRI. Also, let's get you scheduled with a GI doctor for like any intestinal, stomach issues. Make sure you don't have like GERD, as they say, GERD, and things like that. So we went ahead and scheduled both of those. And while I was there, she took more blood to test my blood again. So I went and had my MRI. Well, first I saw the GI doctor. And when I saw the GI doctor, he was just like, yeah, you don't sound like you have GERD at all. Like, I do want to do a CT scan to figure out what's going on. So I went to go make my CT scan appointment, and the lady's like, oh, well, your insurance might not cover it. Once again, hello, here we are. Your insurance might not cover it. Why? You know what I mean? So I was kind of annoyed and frustrated because I'm like, I've paid into this insurance for years. So what the hell do you mean that you might not cover it? Like, I was kind of annoyed. So the GI doctor's like, you need to get a CT scan. That following Saturday, I had to have an MRI done. So the MRI was done, and it was an MRI with contrast. So if you guys don't know what that means that you have to have an IV that they pump something in your blood. And if there's anything that is not supposed to be there, it'll stand out with the contrast that they put in your body. So I was waiting for the results from both of those. The GI doctor called me back. He's like, hey, yeah, like everything on my end looks good. Your intestines, all that stuff look great. He said that your left ovary does look a little different. So I want you to follow up with your gynecologist, and we will send him or her over your information. So that was that. So I was just like, great. Ovarian stuff, like always gives me anxiety. Ovarian cancer, and just like my past history with all of that. And so I was just like, oh, well, I'll wait to see what my OBGYN says. So the MRI. I get a call from my doctor. I believe it was Martin Luther King Day, because I remember I was at work and it was crazy busy. And somebody called and I didn't see it. And I listened to the voicemail maybe about an hour after and realized it was her. And she's like, hey, it's Dr. blah, blah, blah. And, I'm actually off today for the holiday, but I had to get you this information. It's super important. I can't leave it on your voicemail, so please call us back. I immediately called back the number that she called me from. No answer, of course. And so I was just like, cool, so what now? The next morning, it was about 7 o'clock in the morning, and maybe 8 actually. I think it might have been 8 o'clock. And they call me, and they're like, the nurse, she's like, hey, can I speak to blah, blah. She was like, your MRI results came back and they found a mass on your brain. Now, when she said it, I literally just instantly froze. I was just like, what do you mean? Like, I'm 32 years old. What do you mean you found a mass on my brain? She's like, yeah, they found a small mass. They always tell you, don't worry, it's okay, but we need to get you in with the neurosurgeon as soon as possible. So I called them. Guys, listen. Well, first of all, when she hung up, she's like, I'll give you a call in a couple hours with your appointment. When I tell you guys that they literally did not call me for a week, it was literally so disgusting and frustrating. I've never been through anything like that as far as waiting for like something super important like that. You know what I mean? So a week later, the neurosurgeon actually called me and like, hey, you were referred, we got your MRI back and we're going to get you with this doctor. And we need you to come in as soon as possible. And we have an opening tomorrow at 10. Can you be here? And I was just like, well, yeah. And so I had planned to go out of town. But I was like, we're going to have to leave early to come back. I just have to get this taken care of. So I went to see the doctor. I was in the waiting room. I was the youngest person there. So imagine being in a room with people who are like 60, 70, 80, 90 years old, and you're 32. And so as I looked around, I was just like, wow, like I'm super young to be in this room right now with all these people who have some sort of brain problem, cancer, mass, whatever it is, right? So I was just kind of like, a little bit taken back. I feel like it was a humbling experience for me. And that just lets you know, like, nothing's promised. Not a day is promised. Not tomorrow, today, tomorrow, the next day after that, nothing's promised for you. So as I'm sitting there and I like leaned over to Steph and I told him, I was just like, wow, like I'm the youngest person here. And he like looked around. He's just like, yeah, a lot younger. So we went to the back to see the doctor. He was a nice guy, but it was very quick. And so he basically told me that I do have a mass and that right now, because it is smaller, it's safer to not do anything. Because if they were to do any sort of brain surgery to remove it, it could actually jeopardize my life even more than just keeping it. So it didn't give me peace of mind, to be honest. It actually still makes me nervous because, as we know, these things can grow at rapid speeds. You never know. So essentially I have to go for a follow-up every like so many months to get them to do another MRI to view it, to see if it's growing, to see if any other ones are growing in other spots. And the location of it is not affecting me now because it's small, but if it gets bigger, it will. So yeah, that's basically what I've been dealing with, guys. That part of it. The other part of it is, you know, I've had extreme headaches and neck pain and things like that. I just didn't correlate that to that, but that's what it's from. And it's crazy because I would have never thought. The second part to that is my blood work that came back the last time I went, came back again flagged. So for an immune disease, they want me to go see a rheumatologist. And so I don't even know what it is. I don't know, you know, I've had so many symptoms, guys, like it's crazy. And it was all over the map and I didn't really understand why or know why. And I feel like some of this is making more sense with finding out what's going on with me. The head thing makes sense because my headaches are so intense. And then the immune disease, I feel very fatigued in my body and things like that. They don't know exactly what it is though. So I'm gonna go see the rheumatologist. The crazy part is, guys, is that it literally takes months before you can even get an appointment with the rheumatologist. It's insane. So I have to wait until May to go see the rheumatologist. And it sucks. I can't even lie. It's awful because it's like you're living with something you don't even know what it is inside your body. You just know that you don't feel like yourself at all. And so I've just been very, I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but I was like super depressed. Like I didn't know what was wrong, and then I was in and out of the doctors. All these doctor bills, by the way, like it adds up. There's so much money in addition to the doctor bills I had from like years ago, so it's just adding to it. And you know, I've survived so much in my life, so now to have this happening is like crazy to me. This is why I say like it's so important for us to cherish the moment, cherish being alive, cherish your family, cherish the things that you want to do. I feel like now that's why I'm like super focused on making my dreams happen and the things I want to do, because life isn't guaranteed to give me any more time than the present. Like right now, today, you know, this is it. Like I'm not guaranteed to get any more life than I've already been given. So it's like, if I am going to get more time and more, I want to be able to appreciate it. And I had some very like serious and open conversations with like my mom and my daughters, about my health, especially my older daughter, just because like I'm not guaranteed to be here. And there's like certain things I want to instill in them to keep with them in case I'm not here. Yeah, it's just crazy to me. And it's very emotional to talk about. And I'm typically not very vulnerable in the sense of this. But, you know, when you think about, you know, life and how much we take it for granted, I think that's why I took the passing of Kobe Bryant so hard, is because I feel like he really left a legacy. So he lived all the life he could live, right? But he wasn't able to see his kids live the life that they wanted to live. And like, you know, I believe and I trust in God. And my thing is like, everybody's like, oh no, you just got to pray and God's going to take care of it, you know, but I'm a strong believer in whatever God said is what it is, right? Whether that's me to stay here or me to not be here. I have to be okay with either or, and strong in my faith to know that God is going to make the right decision for me, and strong in my faith to know that God's going to protect my family, especially my kids. You know, my kids are everything to me. That's the biggest thing I care about, you know, is my kids, and seeing them happy, seeing them grow, and seeing them be able to do amazing things and grow up to be these amazing young ladies and have families and do the things that make them happy and they're passionate about. That's the kind of things that make me happy, and leaving a type of legacy for them, you know, that they won't have to struggle, and that they'll know, you know, about life and things that get ahead in life, and to live like, you know, the right way and do things the right and proper way in this life. I want them to know all of that stuff. And so I just say to you guys, like, if you feel, you know, different inside or anything like that, like please go to a doctor and see a doctor. Even if they keep telling you, you know, they don't know if it's not this, or, you know, it's this, and then you still feel bad, like keep going, because eventually you're going to get to the right doctor who's going to tell you the information that you need to know about yourself. And we all need to know that. We all need that peace of mind. We all need to know how we should prepare for the future. I just wanted you guys to know what was going on with me, to kind of open up a little bit, and share me with you. It's cool and all to like come on here and be like, oh, we're vlogging, we're having a great time, or we're here, we're there. I'm doing this cute makeup routine, or blah, 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 showing you guys how to do a natural makeup look or whatever. And that's all nice and well, but like, how many people out there in the world are actually going through and experiencing something? How many people are feeling sick right now in their body and haven't went to see a doctor because you're afraid to know the results? You are me. I knew something was wrong, and I knew that it was more than just something very surface, but I didn't know it would be this. And so now here I am, I'm here, 32 years old, and you know, this is the hand I've been dealt with at this age. And so all I can say to you guys is like, I'm here to be, you know, like a, to be like a testimony for you guys, you know? And I do believe that God gives his strongest people like the hardest time sometimes, or like he gives it to us because he knows we can handle it. Like I said, regardless of what happens, I just want you guys to remember this moment right here and right now. And what I'm telling you guys, like, you know, it's life. Just make sure that you appreciate the time that you're here, appreciate the people who, you know, who love and respect you, and don't take it for granted. Like seriously, please, please don't. Life is very fragile. Although we feel sometimes invincible, we're not. And yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say to you guys, to kind of give you guys just a little bit of a life update. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys give me a big thumbs up. If you guys have any love you want to leave in the comments below, you can. You can also follow me on my social media sites. I'll post them here at the bottom of the screen. They're also in the description box. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.